Hello everyone. Welcome to our English class. Today's topic is really fun and interesting for you. Today we will explore Unit 3D about BBC Street interviews, this or that questions. If you are ready, we will start our class. Let's go. So, we will start our class with identifying our lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to learn, firstly, identify common expressions used to show preferences in English. For example, I would rather, I prefer, I like, better than. And secondly, use these or that questions and responses to express personal choices naturally in short conversations. Thirdly, participate in a short speaking activity or mini discussion inspired by BBC Street interview format. And finally, write a short discussion board post expressing and explaining your preferences using target structures. Now, I will start our lesson. Let's go. So, before starting main part of our lesson, let's make little warm up. I will give you two questions and you will answer the questions, each questions in 30 seconds, okay? So, first question. What did you want to be when you were growing up? Now I will give you 30 seconds to answer this question. Okay? Let's go. Now 30 seconds are over. Now we will look at the second question. Second question is about look at the jobs in the box. For example, actor, electrician, lawyer, musician, photographer, doctor, footballer. And which ones would suit you most now? Which would suit you the least? And why? Can you tell me? I will give you 30 seconds for answering this question. So, so 30 seconds are over. Now, you have answered the questions. Now we will move on to our main part of our lesson, to the grammar part. Today, as I said before, we will learn expressing preferences and we will start with would rather. Would rather. We use would rather plus infinitive plus than to talk about our general preferences. I will repeat it again. We use would rather plus infinitive plus than to talk about our general preferences. That's the first meaning, our general preferences. For example, if you look at this example here, Zayan would rather cook. Would rather cook is infinitive here with electricity than with gas. Diane would rather cook with electricity than with gas. So here Zayan prefers electricity. Yes? So second meaning is specific situations. The example is like that. I would rather pay by phone if that's all right. It is specific situation, yes? Paying by the phone. I would rather pay, here is infinitive, by phone, if that's all right. And third meaning is hypothetical situations. We'll look at the example here. I would rather be happy than be rich. We can use be if you want, or you can just remove be here. I would rather be happy than rich. Here be as an infinitive, okay? Second example is also given for these hypothetical situations, meaning, would you rather spend a night in an aquarium or a library? It is hypothetical situation. That means that is imaginary situations. For example, if you are poor, you can just imagine being rich. Or if you want to spend night in somewhere, you just imagine about aquarium or a library or at a concert. Yes, these are the meanings of would rather. First meaning our general preferences. Second meaning specific situations. And third meaning hypothetical situations. Did you get it? Did you understand what would rather means here? So, we can look at also negative. To make negative, we use would or the rather not infinitive. Okay? Would rather not infinitive. And as an example, I would rather not answer that question. Not answer. The answer is preferring not answering the question here. And um, in addition, we use would much, far rather to show a strong preference. I will repeat it again. To show strong preference, we use would much or far rather. So we'll look at examples here. We would much rather go skiing than surfing. That sentence gives the meaning of strong preference. Yes? So, second example, I would I would far rather cycle to work than go by underground. In second sentence also gives strong preference about cycling to work than go by underground. So, if you have understood what would rather means, what is the formula of would rather, we will move on to our next expression about preferences. Did you get it? So let's go to the next preference, expressing preferences. So next one is prefer and would prefer. Prefer and would prefer. We use prefer plus noun or ing, I mean here gerund, ing form, to and to. In order to talk about first meaning is our general preferences. I will repeat it again, the formula of prefer. We use prefer plus noun or ing form, plus to. That's the formula. And the meaning is our general preferences. For example, I prefer cats to dogs. Here, I prefer is prefer and as a noun cats and to is in its place. Yes, I prefer cats to dogs. Namely, Arthur prefer cats. Yes. In general, he prefers working alone to working with other people. You can see here ing is used, yes, as a working. In general, he prefers working alone. He prefers working alone to working with other people. So, we use would prefer plus to plus infinitive. The formula of would prefer is would prefer plus to plus infinitive. So, in order to talk about specific situations, okay? Specific situations. So, the difference between prefer and would prefer is we use prefer for our general preferences, and the formula is also different, and would prefer for specific situations and hypothetical situations, namely imaginary situations. For specific situations, as an example, we can see here, I would prefer to get a takeaway tonight. It is specific situation, yes, because the author is talking about tonight. He or she would prefer to get a takeaway. Yes? And second meaning is hypothetical, imaginary situations. Would you prefer to live in Arctic or the Sahara Desert? That's imaginary situation, yes? Someone is asking from you, would you prefer to live in Arctic or Sahara Desert? To make negative, we use would, prefer, not, plus to, plus infinitive. As an example, I would prefer not to meet today. Tomorrow is better. And meaning is specific situation. Yes, today. Talking about today and tomorrow is better. I would I would prefer not to meet. Not to meet. Okay? So next, we use much prefer and definitely prefer to show a strong preference. So, I will repeat it again. To show strong preference, we use much prefer or definitely prefer. So, examples here given. I much prefer playing tennis to watching it on TV. The author is talking about preferring a lot playing tennis than watching it on TV. Next example, I definitely prefer cats to dogs. The author is saying he or she likes cats a lot. Yes, the meaning is like that. So next is third example is I would much or definitely prefer to go by train. And we can also use would go for to mean would choose, would prefer. For example, which would you rather be, a teacher or a doctor? I would go for a teacher. So, as a meaning of would choose, would prefer, we can use would go for. Okay? I would go for a teacher. Someone is asking from you, which would you rather be, a teacher or a doctor? And you will say, I would go for a teacher. So, did you get this part of our grammar topic? If you have understood, if you don't have any questions, we will move on to our next part of lesson. It's about practice. Now we will practice what we learned today, okay? I will explain you instructions of the exercises and you will do the exercises by yourself. It's for self-study. And you can pause our video here and you can do the exercises by yourself on your notebooks, copybooks, or on your books. And after that, I will show you the answers of these exercises. Okay? The first exercise, you should choose correct words to complete the sentences. Okay? You should choose between two words. I will show you first one as an example. In general, would or do you prefer going on holiday in the summer or winter? What do you think? Which one is more suitable answer here? So it is saying in general. So that's why do you prefer going on holiday in the summer or winter is the most correct answer here. Now you will do the rest of the exercise and I will give you you can give yourself 10 minutes for this exercise and you can pause the video, our video recording here, and after that, after finishing your exercise, you can just check the answers from this presentation. Okay? So these are the answers to this exercise. You can check it after only finishing exercise fully. Okay? So now we will move on to our next exercise. Next exercise is second exercise from your book, Speak Out B1 Plus. You should use prompts to complete the answers. Like you should complete the answers with using prompts. Okay, I will show you first one as an example. The first one, how about a drink? I would rather, I would rather have something to eat. Like I showed you here, you can continue the rest of the exercise. You can do the rest of the exercise as a self-study, or you can pause here and do the exercise. You will need like 10 minutes for this exercise. And after that, I will give you answers beforehand. And after that, you can check the answers from here. Okay? These are the answers for this exercise. So, we have another exercise too about um, expressing your preferences. You should rewrite the sentences so they mean the same. Use the words in brackets. For some questions, you will need to change form of the word in brackets. Did you get the instruction? Okay. If it's understandable for you, I will show you the first sentence as an example. So, I don't want to talk about it right now. We should do the same meaning with prefer. I would prefer not to talk about it right now. This sentence gives the same meaning with I don't want to talk about it right now. Now, if you understood, you can do the rest of the exercise, 12 exercises. And if you want to do it as a self-study, you will need 15 minutes. And here you can pause the video, our video recording, and you will do the exercise. After that, I will show you the answers. Okay? After finishing the exercise, you can check the answers from here. Yes, these are the answers for this exercise. After finishing the exercise, you can check it from here, okay? So now, today, we have finished our grammar part. And now we will look at our speaking part. In the speaking part, you can work individually by yourself. And we will look at now exercise 5A. It's mainly about this or that questions. In the exercise 5A, you should work in the pairs, look at the these or that questions, write a question for each one with using the preferences, like expressions of preferences, okay? For example, the first one is given already as an example. Dentist or vet? Which would you rather be? Dentist or a vet? And now I will give you a minute to create questions for the rest of the exercise, okay? City or country? Cats or dogs? Mountain or beach? Chocolate or vanilla? Now the time is started. You have 1 minute to um, make questions with using expressions of preferences. Okay? Now, time is up. Our time is up. Um, If you have created questions, you can give it to yourself or your family members. And now we will look at B exercise. Please look at the key phrases. Ask each other. Not each other, you can ask from yourself these or that questions from exercise 5A. Use some key phrases in your answers. Now we will check, like, have you used these key phrases in your questions, in your speaking? Okay? Have you used I would much rather or I would prefer to? Okay? Have you used I would prefer to or I would go for in your answers? Mm-hmm. Have you used it? I can't really explain why. I have always wanted to. It just suits me more. I wish I had that choice. If I had to choose, I would say. So, in short, here, if someone gives you question with using expressions of preferences, you should answer with key phrases that is written here, like I would much rather, I prefer to, or I would prefer to, I would go for. I can't really explain why. You can say, I have always wanted to. It just suits me more. I wish I had that choice. If I had to choose, I would say like that. Okay? Did you get it? So, if you understood our questions and key phrases for answering the questions, we will continue our lesson. So, this is the last part of our lesson. This is writing. Um, before write before write a board post, you should read comments on a website, and you will tell me which replies do you agree the most. So now I will read the text aloud, and you can read it by yourself too. This is the comments on website about discussing board post. Driver or passenger? Which do you prefer? I would much rather drive rather than be a passenger. I get bored when I'm passenger. And to be honest, I don't like the way most people drive. I suppose I like to be in control. Passenger. I much prefer looking out the window at the scenery to staring at the road ahead of me. How much nicer to relax and watch a world going by. Driving actually makes me nervous because I don't feel free to look around. So the next comment. I drive for a living. I'm a taxi driver. So I feel pretty strongly about being the one in control. Driving is a big responsibility, and people see it as a game, like they don't have to concentrate. I'm extremely uncomfortable in a car with a driver like that. So I would always choose to be the driver. So, next comment. That is easy because I don't have a choice. I want to learn how to drive, but it is too expensive. So, I'm always the passenger. If I had the choice, I would go for being the driver, but only because it would be a nice change for me. So now you have read the comments on a website. What do you think? Which replies do you agree with the most? I will give you 30 seconds to answer this question. Now 30 seconds is over. I would like to write a comment like that. You have seen here four comments. I would like to write a comment about driver or passenger. Which do you prefer? And I will give you 5 minutes for this exercise. And with this exercise, you can just like finish our class. Um, as a homework, I will give you um, create as many as questions about this or that, okay? As a homework, listen carefully. As a homework, I will give you create questions about this or that. Which do you prefer? If you have understood our lesson today, if you don't have any questions, I will finish our lesson. I will end today's lesson. That's it. That's all for today's lesson. And thank you for watching and learning with me today. If you have any questions, feel free to share them in the comment section or during our next online meeting. See you in the next class. Bye for now. Thank you for your attention.